What is up, everyone? This is Nate the Great coming to you live from the Sports Status Podcast. Uh, today's show is going to be a live fantasy hockey draft, and I know I'm wearing the wrong shirt for this because I am wearing the Texas Rangers, but that I don't care. I don't care at this point. So let's get things started. Let's get things rolling, shall we? Uh, rolling. Again, what is going on, everyone? This is Nate the Great coming to you live from the Sports Status Podcast. I am here today just doing solo, going and talking about and covering a live fantasy draft, which will start in about 5-ish minutes. But to kill some time, I wanted to cover some topics that I had in mind. First one yesterday was the Alabama versus the Ohio State college football game, the finals. Alabama won this game 52 to 28. I believe was the correct and right score. And Ohio State, they looked okay in the first quarter, I thought, but did not look great after that. I think this game should show you why Trevor Lawrence should be that number one draft pick over Justin Fields, because you have a Smith that you have their leading wide receiver for Alabama caught more receiving yards than Justin Fields had had more passing yards in this game. So going into the the NFL draft, Trevor Lawrence should be the first quarterback off the board. Expect me to go off on a rant if Trevor Lawrence is not the first quarterback off the board. Now, what they're saying is that Justin Fields should go over to Carolina as the number 8 pick, as what some drafts are going. I actually can understand that. I see that totally. I see Teddy Bridgewater maybe staying in there for one more year. But after that, it's not going to. I don't think it's going to work out after that. And now the Heisman, it also shows why they went for the right choice. Going a wide receiver, first time in a long time that a wide receiver was chosen for the Heisman Trophy. Now if I were the Eagles personally, if he's not off the board, I would take him. I would take Devontae Smith off the board as the first wide receiver out. That game was just a stomp fest, and it was Alabama gave the Ohio State the biggest loss since 1890, when Ohio State lost to a school I've never even heard of. I don't even know if it's around anymore. But Ohio State, the last time they had a big loss like this was 1890, and they lost 64 to goose egg to 0, which means they've had a closer game since then. And now it is time for me to pick that number one pick on the draft. And as the number one pick, you have fantasy points when you're looking towards. This is my first time doing this, so I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm probably going to go with the obvious pick and go with Leon Dressati. So he is off the board, and Huevos is on the clock, and it is looks like we don't know what he's going to go with right now. I hope Connor McDavid stays, but it's a 10-man draft, so he probably won't. Connor McDavid, probably Nathan McKinnon is what. If I'm lucky, I'm thinking if I'm lucky, I'll probably go with it. Well, actually, I don't want to say it because any one of us, you guys watching right now, could know who I'm going for. There's 23 seconds left on the clock. This draft, the way I set it up, it's a head-to-head matchup. So it's not, hey, who scores the most is in the lead each week. Moving on forward, and there's 4 seconds left, 3 seconds. So it's looking like Connor McDavid goes to Miami Huevos. Now I want you to expect something here. When we get to talk about one team in particular, wouldn't be surprised if they stick with all Dallas Stars picks. Uh, and we looks like we have George DeMoya said hello, boys. So looks like he's on, and he actually has the next pick overall, and looks like he might be going with a Nathan McKinnon, I believe. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nathan McKinnon is off the board. Oh yeah, Nathan McKinnon is off the board. Next is the Invaders. So there's some people that couldn't make it today because they're at work or something. Robert Goss said, "Ready to pick, my boy. Let's go." And looks like the Dallas Invaders as their first overall pick. Oh my gosh. This is a shocker. He goes with Alex Ovechkin. That's a shocker. He literally told me before the draft that he was going to go with all Dallas Stars players. He said that. And the first pick he chooses is a Washington player, Washington Capital player. Whoa. Wow. And it looks like the pick. Ooh. Austin Matthews uh, goes to the West Coast Puckers from Toronto Maple Leafs. And the West Coast Puckers is Jason Barber, just to let you know. And while the blue shirts are on the clock, I'm going to go talk a little bit about some NBA things going on. It just doesn't make any sense what's been going on with in the NBA realm. NFL, I get that they only play 3 days a week. I mean, sorry, 1 day a week for each team, but 3 days as part of the league. Well, except for last year. Um, but in the NBA, they decided to let the um, Philadelphia 76ers play only after having seven players play on that team against the Denver Nuggets. Not to complain, but the Miami Heat out of all teams, that game against the Boston Celtics gets postponed, and the Pelicans Mavericks game gets postponed, and it looks like that Queens blue shirts will go with will draft Micah Zabihinad. Um, next next up is on the line. He's selecting next. Uh, and on the line has now I gotta look at my situation here. My next pick won't happen for another little while. Um, since I'm round 2 and it's snake draft, I get the number 20 overall pick. And Robert Goss just said almost time. He's excited for the pick to his choice. And Robert Goss is 20 seconds left. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Who is he going to choose? Wow. Victor Hedman. Everybody on the line picks Victor Hedman to go first. Ooh. John Washington defender Only Thunder picked John Carlson from Washington Capitals. Only Thunder. So, the Boston's, like I was saying, the Miami Heat game is postponed. And the Dallas game is postponed. But why did the Philly game not get postponed? What is it with Philadelphia sports that they give a little bit more criticism to? What is it with that? The Philadelphia Eagles gets blamed. The Philadelphia Eagles gets blamed because of what Doug Peterson did. By the way, update: he's fired. Doug Peterson is fired. But Jacksonville doesn't know what to do. Hasn't known what to do for quarterback situation since week 2. All of a sudden, Doug Peterson benches Jalen Hurts. Benches Jalen Hurts at halftime. What is that big of a deal? Now, was it a smart move? I absolutely don't. I absolutely think that it wasn't. It was a terrible move. I'm not going to lie with you. But what? Why did Twitter have to explode for that? Why was it that big of a deal? Philadelphia had nothing to compete for. And Philadelphia not only that Philadelphia had nothing to compete for, but also you gotta remember the New York Giants had nothing to compete for either. And the New York Giants head coach, the New York Giants head coach, out of all people, said that what Doug Peterson did was absolutely wrong. Was he right? I believe so. I think he was correct by all means. And I'll just give you an update. Mitch Turner from the Jacksonville Florida was drafted from Toronto forward. Sebastian Aho from the Jacksonville Florida was also drafted. Team Hammonds drafted Andre Velishki. Jason Gunsell from Only Thunder. All these picks are going on, and I have the next pick. So, after Huevos. The next pick is Sidney Crosby. I'm taking him. And if New York was to blame for all this, if New York blamed Philly for all this, why aren't other teams not taking some of the blame for what they've been doing all season? And what what makes that crazy, and I bring up the whole Jacksonville point, but you realize the quarterbacks that they've been using have been keeping games close all season. Green Bay, the guy that Aaron Rodgers supposed to be MVP. Aaron Rodgers beat Jacksonville by 4 points, 24-20. And Jacksonville has terrible defense. And you're here to, and people are here trying to say, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers gets MVP because he threw more touchdown passes than the punter kick." I'm sorry, no. Jacksonville has a terrible defense, and he put 24 points. Tampa Bay was another game. He only scored 10 against Tampa Bay. It was a choke game. And just to give you guys a heads up, Tuukka Rask, a goalie from Boston Bruins, was drafted by Miami Huevos. Steven Stamkos, forward, was drafted. John Tavares is off the board. JT Miller is off the board. Igor Shesterkin is off the board. Dougley Hamilton off the board. Blake Wilmer off the board. Roman Jose is off the board. Elias Patterson is off the board. All these Bruins players are off the board, and Patrick Line was the last one. Next guy on the clock, only Thunder drafted Andre Cheves. I really don't know how to pronounce a lot of these guys' last names. Speaking about the MVP pick. Oh, giving some more updates. Brandon Point, Kyle Connor, Cole Makar, Alec Pescango, Mark Corridano, and Braden Point. They're all off the board. Miami Huevos is the next pick. And I have the pick after him. So I'll talk about that until really a lot of these guys are auto drafting, but I wanted to give you guys a quick, hey, what's it going to look like after the draft kind of situation going on. And like what I was saying, Aaron Rodgers is probably going to get the MVP because of all the stats that he has. But every year, it happens every year. There's often that one game that he chokes on. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does it next week. And Tyler Hall was drafted as the last pick from Miami Huevos. So I'm up on the board. I have Sidney Crosby. I have Matt Sarnin. I have Justin Towdy. I really now it's should I draft? Now we're at the point to asking, should I draft a goalie now? Now, looking at Dallas's last, you have Toronto, who didn't make the playoffs last year. He's for some reason he's high up on the board in points. Dallas made it to the World Series. I'm actually going to go with him. We don't have any draft comments so far. And I'm on the clock again. So I drafted a goalie. And I'm probably going to go ahead and draft from Edmonton. I'm going to go draft Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Now, all these guys are off the board by auto pick. And on the line is next Now he has a choice to where he can draft. Sean Connor is the if he goes with the next pick, he'll go with Sean Contreras. Um, back to what I was saying about Aaron Rodgers. He has all these stats. He is a great football player, don't get me wrong. But when it counts the most, unless if it's a Dallas Cowboys game, he chokes. And that's simply what it is. San Francisco 49ers last year. Y'all know what happened. First time it wasn't even close. Second time it was closer because it was almost a comeback, but they still choked and lost. The year before that, they didn't make the playoffs. And the year before that, no playoff round 2. So if you're here telling me that Aaron Rodgers is and before that game, before that year where Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they choked to the Falcons. They choked to the king of chokebirds. So it's that one always going to be one game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams. I don't think they will. I think Green Bay makes all the way to the Super Bowl. I don't think they'll win it though. By the way, I'm up on the clock again, as you can see. Now the choices that I have. Next one is Darnell Nurse. I'm probably going to go with him as my next pick, as my defender. Now I'm up again. Should I draft with another defender? Or should I go goalie or bench? I can't go bench player yet because I'm not at that point. None of us are. Even if you draft forward after forward after forward, none of us are. Because it's the 7th round. So I went with Nurse, and I'm probably gonna go with Vancouver, Bo Harvard. Logan Korcher was probably a good close pick as well. And don't give the injury crap if you wanted to argue with me about Aaron Rodgers being an MVP, because he wasn't hurt outside of one game. He was not hurt. That second season, he didn't make the playoffs. So if you're here, you're telling me Aaron Rodgers should be MVP. This. He didn't do that well second season. They do have a great head coach. Don't get me wrong. But even last year, I think they were probably they finished out as the worst 13-3 team in NFL history. Dallas Invaders. The next team on the clock. Don't know what he's going to pick yet. So Landon says he came in late. George says anyone want Malkin. And Jones, Huevos on the clock. Dallas Invaders, McKinney, Blackwood. From New Jersey. Buffalo defender. I went with. Now, a lot of these guys are not auto picking anymore. Now, McQuirk Clan. I am on the clock. Next choice up is Mike Coughlin. And the Blues were on a downward slope last year, coming off the Stanley Cup championship. They were on a downward slope. I don't think I probably should go for that. Don't see anything in the comment section so far. But my next pick probably would go. I'm probably going to go with him. From Calgary Flames. And then the next one. I don't know. I'll go with him. Forward. So next up, if Brian Ellis is not on the clock, I'll probably go with him. We have some comments, but I'm not going to bring that up because it's custom comments. So and then the next pick went with the Miami Huevos. I might make some trades because of all these auto picking stuff. I can see a lot of trades going on. Charlie McCoy from Boston went to Dallas Invaders, and he's making some pretty weird picks because he said that he he said that he's going to go with Stars players. That's so his picks today have been shocking. Shocking. Landon Hammonds is on the clock. Jacob Troyoba. So don't forget to stay tuned as we have some ASAP analysts competing for that finals champion. I mean, for championship. I still don't know my situation. Cole's disappointed that he got somebody from the Jets. We're still waiting on his pick, and Lennon goes for Foreman. All these guys are auto picked. Now, the next guy, the Thunder. And now we don't have any comments. So now you might be thinking, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get that MVP, do I think Patrick Mahomes gets it? My answer: no. No. You can't be getting the MVP and score 17 points against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm sorry. Atlanta Falcons defense has been their biggest issue. Fourth quarter comeback, especially. Matt Ryan is not as bad as people think. I think he's a highly underrated quarterback. And they have Julius Jones. They have Calvin Ridley. Defense has been that biggest issue ever since Matt Ryan came into be part of the Atlanta Falcons. Now he has won an MVP, but I still think he's highly underrated because of all these losing records. He has the passing yards. So George Mondoya said Hall and Moncton up for trades. Ooh, so we're already talking about some trades going on here. Now my pick is up next. Last pick was George Sarios from Nashville. Now my next choice, if I had to pick, person on the clock is Clyde Kuriex. Now, I don't have a lot of defenders taken. So I gotta go with my next pick. I gotta go with the defender. I'm gonna go with Jacob Sutherland from Carolina. And the question is, should I go with a defender again? And I'm gonna say yes. Ryan Sutler from Minnesota. I'm gonna take him. Now, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't get the MVP, Aaron Rodgers doesn't get the MVP, then who should do it? And I think that answer should be Josh Allen. They scored 56 points against the Miami Dolphins team, who is known to have a very solid defense. As a matter of fact, Xavier Howard is probably leads the league in interceptions this season, and that's 10. Their 10-16 didn't make the playoffs. They just blew it all up in this last week. So if this Miami Dolphins team, first, when there was 8 minutes left on the first quarter, 8 minutes, this Miami Dolphins team, the Chiefs managed to come back from them. I totally get that. Final score of that game was 33-27. So if Miami is very solid at defense. Buffalo, who arguably has the best quarterback wide receiver duo in probably all of NFL, even after last week where they only scored 27 points against the Indianapolis Colts, they only won by 3 points. But the Indianapolis Colts has a stronger defense, a stronger running game. They have a strong defense, strong running game. So that was totally totally expected. Philip Rivers had an okay game that day. It came down to going down on the wire. I have to. Would Philip Rivers make that Hail Mary? And Philip Rivers is not the same Philip Rivers as what he was when he was back. Really, last time they made the playoffs with the Chargers. And by the way, I'm on the clock. Now you have my positions available. I still have 2 defenders that need to go for utility player. Need to draft one, draft a goalie, and draft the bench roster. I'm gonna go with a goalie, and I'm gonna say, Jacob Mark Stone gets my pick. And now I have the next guy. So I am actually gonna go with the guy being suggested, and I'm gonna go with Adam Fox. Now, the question is, the choices left. I don't need you to let me know in the comment section. I have 2 forwards available: a defender, utility player, a bench. Who should I go for? Now, forwards, 2 forwards available. Anders Lee probably going to be taken. I probably would say that. Victor Olofsson, again, I can see him. Those are the 2 best forwards available. A goalie, I don't need. I don't need that anymore. Skaters, I probably just limits to that. So defender, anyone that's a defender or a forward, probably who I would be taking. If Issa Lindell, that's who my next pick will be. I take that back. He's taken. Probably. You know what? I'm not going to. I'm just not going to jinx it. There's a guy that I'm probably going to queue myself up for. Watch, I won't even do that. I'm not going to jinx it because I have a feeling he might be taken before I get the chance to take him. Now, messages. Now, if I had to choose my next pick from the San Jose Sharks, should I go with Thomas Birdie? I will not. I'm probably gonna go. I have a choice for a forward. Probably gonna go with Reilly Smith as my next overall pick, and then the choice after that, I'm gonna go with Joe Pavelski, right wing. Now, choices I have left are all my bench players. I have a defender available, and I have a utility player available. I think I should probably knock out the defender right out of the way. So, defenders that are left available are Ramos Restolman, Philip Lornick, Anthony D'Angelo, Oliver Ekman, so on and so forth. Now, no comments, so nothing posted in the comment section. If excuse me, back to what I was saying about the whole MVP thing. Ever since he lost to that Hail Mary against Arizona, he has not, well, outside of this last game in wildcard round, he has not won a game by one score or less. He's won every single game by more than one score, 2 or more. Even the game that easily could have gone the Chargers' way, they still won by 10 points. And that was 27 to 10. I mean 27-17, excuse me. My MVP vote should go to Josh Allen, and expect me to go on a rant if he is not the MVP. If Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes especially get the MVP, I wouldn't feel as bad if Derrick Henry gets it. Stephon Diggs. If either one of those two guys get it, I wouldn't feel as bad. If it's not a quarterback, it'd probably be one of those two, to be honest with you. Patrick Mahomes might have a chance of getting it. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it'd be a good choice for that to happen. Now, a defender. Choice I have. Who should I go for? I'm going to go probably. I think I'm going to go with the sleeper pick. I'm going to go with Taylor Myers from Vancouver Canucks. And then my next choice for utility player, all positions, I'm probably going to go with that. Now, the choices is David Perron. Now, there you have it. All my starters have officially been drafted. Now, my next. As soon as this from Florida Men, as soon as Florida Men drafts their last pick, then all the starters will be officially over. Officially been gone out of the way. And now it's on to the bench players. Okay, so to go back to talk about the Patrick Mahomes situation. Patrick Mahomes has not won a game. Not won a game against Week 8. Let me take that back. Patrick Mahomes has not won a game by more than one score since Week 8. Last time that's happened was against the New York Jets, where they won like 38-9. And they scored against a team that does not have a very good defense. Myles Garrett is probably the Cleveland Browns defense, because of Myles Garrett alone, is probably a better defense than the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to pull off the upset. We saw against the Denver game that we saw what happened. The Denver Broncos almost pulled off that upset against the Kansas City Chiefs with a good running game. Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay. Melvin Gordon went off in that game, and they were up 10-9 in the first quarter. Not first quarter, first half. And if if they almost lost to Denver and Browns have a better 1-2 punch than Denver does, it should be an easy game. Well, I say easy, but I feel like he might pull off a lot of points. Now, I think the final score, if I had to go with the final score, it would be 49 Kansas City Chiefs, 50 Cleveland Browns. You heard it here first. 50-49. Give you guys a live update on the draft. Now it's Dallas Invaders have the next pick. And it's round 18, pick 10. Actually, that's my next pick. Pick 7. He just went for, let me see, Mattis Ekholm from Nashville. Now it's up to Miami. Miami Huevos. What will he do in this next draft pick? Now I'm up. I'm up, and I have to choose a bench player. Who should that bench player be? I'm going to go with Dominic Kulovic as forward for the draft. And then next after that, I'm going to go with Matthew Dumba from the Minnesota Wild. So, all of that having said, I've given you 2 of my picks so far. Well, I talked about 2 of the games, 2 of the teams. I've given you 1 of my picks. I think Cleveland will win in a high-scoring affair against the Kansas City Chiefs. But Buffalo and Baltimore, who will be the winner of that? Buffalo moves on. I feel like that because Ravens did well last week because they were able to stop Derrick Henry. But they're great. They're great at stopping the run. But I don't think the running game is their biggest threat in this next on Saturday. I seriously don't. It's going to be that quarterback wide receiver duo, Josh Allen, Stefon Diggs. It's probably going to be their biggest threat. I have Buffalo moving on over Baltimore. Next game, you're going to go the NFC side. Packers, Rams. You have Aaron Donald in the backfield. You have Jalen Hurts. Not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Ramsey. And I'll tell you who I have after I draft this guy. Bench starters, there's 3 more choices that I could go with. You have a Philip. I'm probably the guy I'm gonna go with is Frank Valatrano and Nate Schmidt. One more draft pick to go. So if let's see, what was I gonna say? If they are able to do all of that, oh yeah, NFC side. Rams have Jalen Ramsey. They also have Aaron Donald out there defending. Uh, Aaron Donald can easily go after at the quarterback situation. Remember what I said. Remember what I said about Aaron Rodgers. This game could be that playoff game that Aaron Rodgers chokes. I have the Rams moving forward. I know I said it on ASAP, but ASAP is ASAP. I said that only because nobody else went for um, the Packers. So that's really the only reason why I said that. The Rams move forward, but I am sticking to what I said about the Saints and Buccaneers. I think the Saints are going to move forward. Because the Saints simply have been able to stop them in the past couple of games. You have in the past couple of games, you have a Michael Thomas there. Well, in the past couple of games, you didn't have Michael Thomas. And I'm pretty sure in the first game, Alvin Kamara got hurt for the remaining of the game. And I think Michael Thomas, the time that he got hurt, was the following week. I have to double check my stat on that. But Tom Brady couldn't even score 10 points on them the second time. They couldn't even score a touchdown. So now they have to play them a third time. It's now been the second time. It's now been in the playoffs. First playoff game for the Packers since 2007. Not Packers. I keep wanting to say Packers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh well. First playoff game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since 2007. Tampa Bay goes home. Saints move on. And they lose this one. Saints move on. Tampa goes home. Now Tampa plays the Rams. Who will come up on top? I'm going to go with the Rams. I think it's going to be a Rams and Bills Super Bowl. Bills being the Super Bowl winner. That being said, last but not least, before we get this all close out, I'm on the clock. There's goalie. I'm gonna go with a goalie, simply because of the Carolina Hurricanes game last year. Before we had the thing that happened in the bubble. And we saw in that game that both goalies went down hurt. If you have two goalies on two different teams, it's more likely that both of those goalies can go down hurt in that game. Now, I'm not going to, for those people that are watching this, I would highly recommend in fantasy hockey to use a goalie as your utility player. Maybe. We got to look at what all is going on, who plays that game. But if it comes down to it, I would use a goalie as your utility player. That is all I have to say. It's Nate the Great. Have a good one. Signing out for now. If you like this video and want to go take a look at some more, you go ahead and click that subscribe button, whatever it is on the screen. I believe, yeah, right there, right this way. Um, Also, go ahead and click that notification bell for quick reminders whenever I go on next. I try to aim for every Friday or Saturday, depending on what all I've got going on that day. Uh, Unless if there is a special guest or a main event. Now, Friday, I do have a guest. He's going to be coming on here to talking about how this whole calculating numbers things work when it comes to sports betting. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not 100% into sports betting myself, especially if it involves money. I mean, if it involves doing something that really doesn't involve any harm, like, hey, cutting your hair if you get this game wrong, sure. Okay, I'll do it. Wearing a Dallas Cowboys shirt if I get this game wrong. Oh well, sure. I'm okay with that. But I'm getting off topic here. You can click that notification bell for more videos. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe it. And also, I will send a link out soon down below for when I have Facebook up. Click our Facebook page and uh, like it. Now on the Facebook side, you can leave comment, like video, share it, get it out to everyone. And like I said on the YouTube, Facebook, I will leave a link to it. I have already left a link on the Facebook page over for YouTube. So go ahead and check that out. Share it out to your friends if you enjoyed this video. Peace.